Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Pei Shan. I'm from Secure One. Okay, thank you for joining us today. Good to see you all. Good morning. Okay, our topic today is about SonicWall, Introduction to SonicWall Cloud Edge Secure Access. So without further delay, let's start our webinar today. So our speaker is from Secure One 2 is Mr. Choi. So I'll pass it to Mr. Choi. So if you have any questions, feel free to write in the chat box, or you can raise up your hand, the virtual hand, and we will attend to your inquiry shortly. So let's pass it to Choi.
Okay, thank you, Pei. So let me introduce myself. My name is Choi. I'm from Secure One. I'm a network engineer. So today our topic is the introduction to SonicWall Cloud Edge Secure Access. Okay, so this is our agenda for today. So we'll cover about the product positioning, the technical overview, and the selection guide for the SMA and Cloud Edge. Digital transformation landscape. Okay, so let's look at this screen. Okay, in this new paradigm of the digital transformation, right? So the well-defined network and the security perimeter model actually no longer works. So let's look at the example here. So first, actually many of the medium to large enterprises are actually now rely on the private apps. For example, like RDP, the SSH, the VNC, the HTTP or HTTPS protocol-based apps, because in order to enforce the compliance and the security. So now all the application actually they have moved from the data center or even from their own premise to the public cloud, for example, like Azure or the AWS. Okay, so furthermore, if you can see here, the use of the SaaS apps is actually also increased because of the simplicity. So the SaaS apps actually become the key requirement for the next generation of security service. Just imagine you just need to the user just need to download the apps or any browser, and then they just sign up and then just log in to the portal or whatever the apps. Okay, so the SaaS now is very simple, and also the number of, I mean, the using the apps, it also increases. Okay, so last is the organization. Now actually they also, I mean, focus on this work from home. Even though now COVID not that serious now, but still some of the organization also encourage their work, their employees work from home. So to reduce the latency, connect direct to the cloud over the internet become, I mean, become more and more. So this is the user access corporate data from anywhere, remote worker. So this is very easier for them. Okay, so the VPN challenges. As you can see here, the VPN challenges here. The traditional VPN actually invented before the cloud, so the deployment also can take days or even months due to the delay in the hardware, and also the line schedule downtime with the on-site expert support. So they lead the long lead time in the deployment and scaling. So this is the VPN challenges. And the second one is that if you connecting via the VPN for the remote employees or the partner on unmanaged devices, that means they have full access to your infrastructure or the subnets. So this is become like insecure. It's like open the door to cyber breach, because the malware can actually move laterally and easily from the server to another server within your subnet. So this also the VPN challenges. And the employee also can experience the significant latency with the VPN also. So that's why as the network traffic loops around on the on-premise VPN conceptors instead of going through directly to the cloud. This is the Gartner report on April 2019. So if you can see here, by 2022, 80% of the new digital business application for ecosystem partner will be accessed through the Zero Trust network. So this is like very important also because like a lot of the company also they are actually start to move to the Zero Trust network access already. So by 2023, 60% of the enterprise will actually phase out their remote access VPN. So in a favor of ZTNA, the Zero Trust Network Access. Okay. So why the Zero Trust security is a new security paradigm? Because of the fast and self-service deployment. You can deploy in just minutes. Okay, it's very important. It's very easy, and then it also got the least privileged access to protect your corporate assets, and is cloud direct, so it's fast and secure and reliable access from anywhere. So you no need to like wait the hardware to come to your office, then only you configure the things because the cloud is already ready for you. Okay. So SonicWall Cloud Edge, from zero trust network access to secure access service edge. Okay. So this is the Cloud Edge service access as Cloud Edge secure access overview. So if you see from here, the bottom left side here, so that this is the side-to-side connectivity for your branches. So the Linux server or router or firewall is actually required in this case because they need to connect to the cloud edge gateway. Okay, and then from here, the second one is that any of the user which is remote employee on managed device or BYOD, they actually just need to use their Mac OS or any Windows PC or even their work from home, or they are using the Android or iOS, so they can just easily connect to the cloud edge. So it's very I mean it's very useful for those remote employee that are working from home. And also if your partner or any like your customer they are also can use this, they also can use for browser to access the cloud edge portal. So after they connected to this I mean each connection they will direct to the central controller. Okay, and then they will facilitate the dynamic interaction between the endpoint and the authorized authentication system to ensure the device and the user are properly authenticated before being authorized for least privilege access. So upon they are actually all these user, the connection is actually authenticated. So then the traffic will, I mean, to pass to this the branch office or even the private cloud or on-premise network or can access their clientless apps access or the public cloud apps also. So this is the cloud edge service in general. So we can see that the multi regional service with zero trust policy based access is actually built in. So they have the zero trust policy is built in, so it's very convenient, so and very easy to deploy the policy also. And then they actually the SonicWall Cloud Edge, they have starting with 30 location, which means they have 30 location the gateway. So if for example like I want to connect this VPN, so they will you can point to like Singapore or any other location. So in Asia, if I'm not mistaken, they only have Singapore I cannot remember what else already, but total now is starting from 30 location. So the 50 is the next and more and coming. That means they will have more and more location for this cloud edge, because this is on the cloud. Okay, so and then this is a high-speed interconnection, interconnection. And then they are SOC2 and ISO compliant. So SonicWall is actually recommend to have a redundant gateway lah, because of the performance and better protection also. Because sometimes we might not know, maybe there is a power outage, so that's why it's best to have a redundant gateway. So cloud edge deployment. So if you can see from here, any of the unmanaged or public device with browser, or you're using your Windows PC, iOS phone, or Android phone, all these things. So they will first connect. Okay, they will you connect, and then they will authenticate first, and then they verify your identity. After that, only they will authorize you, and then based on the policy that apply to you, then only they will send or establish the connection for you, so that you can access to your private apps or on-prem apps. Okay, and then all these like HTTP, HTTPS, RDP, VNC, like I told you just now, so you can access after all these three steps. Authenticate first, so they will verify your identity, and then only they will authorize, and based on your policy apply, then only they will establish the section for you, so you can access to all your the apps or whatever things that already configured on the policies. So it's very convenient. So end to end. Okay, so as I said, they have the connection is because you can use actually they have two deployment method. So you can use the WireGuard tunnel or using the IPsec tunnel to set up this cloud edge. So end-to-end deployment. So from here, all the unmanaged or the public device with browser or managed device or using your phone, all these things, so they will have the connection or using the IPsec, all this to connect to the gateway and then the controller, so that you can authenticate all the things and then verify, and then they will send you or forward the traffic, so that you can access to your public cloud apps or any apps in your on premise. So cloud edge secure access use case. So the use case one, you can deploy the zero trust network access just under 15 minutes. Okay, this is the I mean, if you can see from this picture, later I can show you. So this is the region and the gateway here. That means you select your region already, and then you select your gateway, and then you have the IPsec tunnel that already configured here. So it's actually very easy. You just need to configure the IPsec tunnel only on your firewall, and then on your cloud edge portal you also configure it, and then you can easily and apply others policies so that the user can access. So the IT admin can configure a gateway and onboard a branch office in just 15 minutes. Okay, and then they can access based on the identity, location, then trust, and then the user can install the client apps because they have the app. That's why you can use your mobile phone or even the PC to access the cloud edge. So you can access from anywhere, even though you are not in the office. You are in maybe a hotel or cafe. So if you have your phone on your hand, so you can just directly open from your phone and then access to your network, and then access to any of your apps, all these things. So the zero trust application, they have the continuous audit because they have identified your user, even though you are external or internal. So they will authenticate through the identity provider policies. If you are not the authorized, I mean the ID, so you will not able to access, and then to access your internal networks, all these things. They also can verify the context. So your device, the location, the time, or the group, and any of your target access. So it can verify and then send you to the correct target access because of the policy already configured. And then enforce a micro segmentation. There's no lateral movements, and grant the least privilege access. So client to apps only. Okay. Differentiator. So this is the architecture for the software defined parameters from the Cloud Security Alliance. So if you see here, this is the user or you're using the device. So that's why I say it will authenticate the user and the device. The controller will authenticate it and then grant you the access to access the network or the application. So the gateway here is actually the trust broker. So it will look balance and then encrypt your traffic. After all this done, so it will send you to the, or you can access to your IT infrastructure, even though it's in a local or the cloud, and then the application. So it's very convenient. And then they have the built-in resilience against the common cyber threats. So all this like DDoS, the slow release, the Wi-Fi hijack, the SIM flood, they are actually block it lah. So they have this inherent resilience of SDP architecture lah. This attack actually blocked by the controller because of the like this one is the controller, okay, because they have to authenticate the user and the devices, so they will block all these DDoS, all these attack the SIM flood, the Wi-Fi hijack, all these things. Only the legitimate traffic continue uninterrupted, okay, and legitimate traffic only can access to your apps or to your networks. So as I said, they have the IPsec and the WireGuard. So this is the WireGuard client and connector. So you can even install the WireGuard or just configure for the IPsec side-to-side VPN only. So there are two methods to configure for this cloud-based access. So because the WireGuard is actually a strong alternative OpenVPN and IKE lah. So you can see the even the performance, the ping, the throughput is actually also higher than the, I mean is have a better performance than the OpenVPN. Automatic Wi-Fi security. So they have this function also, automatic Wi-Fi security for public hotspot. They have this function to prevent the Wi-Fi intercept. So the VPN connection is automatically established when an unsecure hotspot is detected. And then only the trusted Wi-Fi network, you can specify an SSID that would disable the auto Wi-Fi security. Only the trusted network only can access. Okay. So for the Cloud Edge secure access, they now have two new things in, I mean they have the two new enhancement. First is the network traffic control, and the second one is the device posture check. So why we have this? Because of the firewall level protection, we have facing these challenges because of different roles require different granular access policy. So the consistent and ease of use determine efficiencies. So that's why the network traffic control comes out, because it can provide you the micro segment layer 3 to layer 4 access based on the user and the group identity. And then you can control the traffic flow with virtual policy tools. They have in the Cloud Edge portal, I mean, you can configure your network traffic control. So to prevent or you can like this user, you only can access to these networks or services, so they can define this kind of things. So the network traffic control. Okay. Another one is the real-time endpoint compliance. So the challenges is that how you want to safeguard the high resources and the access within your corporate networks. And then you can, they also facing this how to prevent the potential threats from unmanaged device. That's why they have this function, this device posture check. So it can grant the network access only to compliant and authorized device. And then they verify the OS integrity and the malware-free environment. So the dashboard for easy inventory and access history. So here is showing you the device posture check. In this device posture check, so for example, like you want to set this user so that you can access to the cloud edge, so you can, for example, like verify their OS version, or even though you can verify their far path. So that means that if let's say in this user PC, when he access trying to log in, if the checking is passed, then only the user can access. For example, if I configure my ID, and then if my laptop got this the folder name or folder path, then only it will grant you to access. Or for example, like I configure this user can access with the policy like which Windows version or Windows 10 or whatever, then only it can grant you to access to your network. This is the device posture check. So the selection guide for Zero Trust and VPN product. Okay, Zero Trust, the cloud edge secure access. So it's actually for those enterprises, so at least 100 or above users. And then it's a cloud. All this is actually in cloud. So for SMA 1000 series, 1000 series, it also for enterprise with thousands of users. So they are available in a virtual or physical or cloud platform. And then the SMA 100 series also, this one is for the SMB with maybe 100 of users. And this is also available in virtual, physical, and cloud. So you need to understand your customer, their business challenges. So from here, we can see that the cloud edge secure access. So if your client facing a lot of the sensitive data or protect about to increase the compliance regulation, so you can look for this cloud edge secure access. And then the concern about the user with over privileged access due to frequent requests, because a lot of users or temporary users, so you can consider of this cloud edge. And distribute multi-regional or multinational business present, or you want to reduce your hardware or software budget, then you can think of this cloud edge secure access. And operate with an lean IT resources and need a fully integrated platform. Okay, if for the SMA, you also can think, if let's say your customer have this kind of challenges, like a lot of remote workforce, so empower the employee with BOID. So you can think of this SMA also. There's no cloud migration plan and a lot of local IT access, or you need to have a VPN access to resources on-prem or cloud. Mature solution, and then the IT resource provision in the network VPN and security access component integration. So you can think of this SMA. The technical comparison, cloud edge and the traditional VPN. So if you can see from the cloud edge secure access, those gateway or the remote networks, they actually is in the cloud native. Okay, if let's say you are using the traditional VPN, they are using the physical VPN appliance or the or in the on-prem networks. And the ZTNA controller of the user trust is all zero trust security for the cloud edge secure access. But if traditional VPN, it will direct access to your gateway, and then only the basic MFA. Okay, and if for the client and the VPN protocol, they are using the modern VPN protocol, and if let's say for the traditional VPN, they only have this desktop. That means you only can use your desktop to use it. You cannot use your mobile phone or whatever. And then they only have this OpenVPN, IKVE2, and IPsec VPN protocol only. This is between the difference between the Cloud Edge and the traditional VPN. So for the licensing, the platform features, because the Cloud Edge is actually in the cloud. Okay, so the cloud management, those dedicated global gateway. So the PC or the mobile client, you can use Windows, Mac OS, iOS, and Android also. And then they have also provide you the identity provider or MFA integration. They have the activity audit logs and reports that last for 30 days. So for the gateway, you can actually add on many gateway, maybe 2, 4, or more, depends on the requirement or the location and the users also in your network. And the zero trust network access, if you see the features, they have this tunnel on-prem or cloud network. So that means you can you can configure either using IPsec or using WireGuard tunnel. And then they have agentless application access. Like I say, they have you can access HTTP, HTTPS, RTP, SSH, VNC, all these things. So it's actually no limit, unlimited apps. So you can configure as many as you want. Then they have the agent-based network access with OpenVPN, always on VPN, sorry. And then they have the zero trust policy-based access. They have this zero trust built in already. And then they have the automatic Wi-Fi security also. So how's the licensing scenario? So you just need to select the package, the Cloud Edge, the user. For example, scenario 1, we have 100 users in our organization in just single location. So then you can think of 2 gateways, maybe for the redundant purpose. Okay, and then you can get 100 license for this, because this is based on license also. So for scenario 2, let's say you have 500 users in your organization, and then it's spanning 5 countries. Okay, so you may think of 10 gateways, and then you need to buy 500 license. Okay, I will show you the demo for the Cloud Edge portal. So if you have any further information, you may also contact us at sales@secureone.com.my, or you can visit our www.secureone.com.my website. Let me share you the demo first. Okay, this is the Cloud Edge portal. So after you log in already, you can see these members. For example, all these members, that means this is all your users. So all these users, they have their different role, whether it's a user or the admin role. Okay, and you can have a different role also. This user, they can access to the Cloud Edge, and then to access your company network or any private public or apps or this thing. So this is just the members So you can add the license or that means you can invite your member. Let's say you want to add the users, you just invite the member, just key in their email address or this thing, and then just send them. They will have the access to sign up for this CloudEdge. So members and group, so you can create your different groups to have a different purpose. Okay. And then here, yes, this is the things that I want to show. Because they have configured the IPsec already. This is our SonicWall demo site. So they choose the region here. For example, they choose San Francisco, and then they have multiple gateways, all these things. Then they have the tunnel back to your, for example, to your HQ office. So you can have multiple redundant gateway or even a different region also. This is the one of the example here. So from the tunnel, this is the thing you configure for the IPsec. So your firewall also can configure the things like this, or this IKE version, or this tunnel setting, or this encryption. So it's like a normal IPsec configuration. So you can choose a different gateway for redundant purpose. Okay. So for the application, for example, like I say, you can have a different kind of application access. For example, like HTTP, RDP, HTTPS, all these things. So when the user they log into this platform, they want to access to their, for example, like their internal server RDP, so they can just launch it. Yeah, then they can access to their server. So if they want to access different things also, yeah, yeah, they see they can access to their server. This is unlimited apps, so you can configure as many as you want. This is just one of the example RDP, or you want to access any HTTP access also, you just launch it. Yep. Then you access OOD. So the application rules. So you can configure like for example, like this group of user that only can access to this kind of apps. Okay, so this another group of user, then they can access to all this if they match the policies. Yeah, for example, like you can configure this kind of this group of user lah. Okay, this group of user, so you can have the policy. So if they match all these things, then they can access to the application. And then the device here, this is the part that you can download the apps. So if you are using Windows PC, you just copy the links, and then or you just can directly download from here, or the Mac users, the Linux, the Android also. So that when after they install already, they just need to log in, and the CloudEdge will verify their user ID, all these things. If match, then they will pass you to the correct location, or they will pass the traffic, so you can access to your any of the things or any of the apps. Okay. And then they have your monitor logs. So you can see the logs here. So when they log in, all these things, what activity they are using, you can find it from here. One of the things that is not showing up here is the device posture check, which I just mentioned earlier, because the demo website is not yet, not yet updated. So I can't show you the device posture check, the portion. Yeah, the device posture check. I cannot show you here. If you want to check on the network traffic control, okay, network traffic control. Let me see whether it's still. Okay, these two new things not yet implement in the demo site yet, so I can't show you. But the simple things like you want to create the application for the user to access all these things, you can see from here. And then this here is to configure the gateway, the IPsec tunnel, all these things for the redundant purpose also. The monitor log, then you can download your apps to install and then to log in and then to access to your network or the apps. So the setting here, okay. So you can, to integrate with the third-party apps also lah. They have this kind of function to have the integration, like Splunk, the Azure Sentinel or Amazon. For the identity provider, so you can turn on your MFA, so then to have more secure access, or even the email or password okay. Certificate manager, okay, this is just to store your certificate to create a secure connection to your apps. So basically this is the demo site that I want to show to you all. Okay, if let's say you have any question, you can write it down. Let me check the.
Yeah, Troy, there's
Yeah.
one question from Esther. So it's asking about the newly launched, newly enhanced features for the DPC, the device posture check. So can it be applied to outsider, like such as a contractor or supplier, but the company will granted their access to certain on-prem resources. So
Yes.
can it be applied?
Yes, because the device posture check, if you like configure the things, like I say, because we are logged in based on the user ID, for example, like email, okay. So you can based on this user and then configure like if let's say his PC or whatever the file or the antivirus, you can base on this kind of checking to check the if let's say it's not passed all this checking, so you cannot access. So that means it's based on the user ID. No matter is the user ID, no matter you apply to your outsider contractor or whatever lah. So they also can, to have a check on this because they are based on checking on the your device, all this thing, and also your user ID, all this thing. So no matter you are contractor or whatever, as long as the policy is applied, then it can be checked.
Okay, so there's another question for us as well. So means like if what if the outsider can comply with the checklist that the company requested? So such as the OS edition or version, antivirus. So can you answer this, Troy?
What if outsider cannot comply with the checklist that requested such means that they are not able. Yes, if they are not comply, if they are not match all this checking, you cannot access. You are not able to access to, I mean, to sign in and then to access your internal or any cloud apps. So that's why if you configure all these policies, the user must comply with all the checklists. If not, then it cannot access, you cannot sign in already. Okay, any other question you can write down?
So I hope as the questions has been answered. So to conclude, meaning to say the device posture check, these features can only apply, it can apply to outsider as well, as long as it's granted network access and also authorized devices.
Yeah, that's why if you, I mean, because we are based on the user ID to log in. So if this ID you share to others, for example, you share to another colleagues or whatever, and then you already have applied those device posture checking, but then it's not comply with the the policy that you already configure, so the user cannot log in. Only you can log in because, for example, I configure my laptop with all this policy, all these things, so only me can access. So others, even though they have your ID or whatever, they still cannot access because based on the device posture check.
Okay. So any other questions? Okay, I see no questions. Okay, if that's the case, we shall end our webinar now. So thank you everyone for joining us today. We will send the recording and also the PowerPoint slide to the attendants later on. So if you have not registered with the registration link, feel free to leave your email address to me. You can PM me in the chat box. So we will send the recording and also slide later. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you for your support and we'll see you soon. Take care and have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.